The poems in this video were inspired by Adriana Dascalu's Haiku, Time Passing By. For the most part, I'm just going to be reading the poems, and there will be minimal comments. First bite. The delicate balance of flavor and aroma invites the memory of Grandma's last Christmas dinner. Spring is just a brief moment of clarity between winter's icy glare and summer's blinding heat. Clusters of soft pink consume the sparse greenery, eating cherry pies. Kaleidoscopic array of vibrant colors. Marigolds in bloom. Lilacs, perfume, nature. Migration season. Trend-setting goose leading the way. Fashion show model. Unsteady ladder. Bundles of cherries on the uppermost branches. The previous poem is autobiographical. When I was a teenager, we had a cherry tree in the backyard, and we had a stepladder that we used to pick the cherries. And it was a wobbly one, and one day it tipped over while I was on about the top step. Not all the way up, but close. It fell, I fell, and I landed on it, and I was lucky I didn't get a broken rib or something like that. I just got a little bit bruised. Daddy's girl. It is but one soft-spoken, trembling word. Please! Punctuated by hopeful little blue eyes. But it has the power to collapse my world into a smile. Rustle of dry grass. Snake going skinny dipping. The fish aren't biting. Reason illuminates truth. Raven at dawn. Blue-black shimmer darting, darting through the branches, flitting, flitting, fluttering feathers, standing still, preening, perched for perching's sake, one eye open, looking backward, hopping sideways, sideways hopping, sunshine shining, squawk, 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 daybreak, broken. Honeybee raping flowers. Brief thundershower, sponge-like desert sand dunes, fortnight of blossoms. Fundamentalists enforcing ignorance. Lazy clouds roll across the sky. Slow motion camera. Chill October wind. Fluttering of crisp brown leaves. Shadow puppet games. Sidewalk art. Forgotten crayons melting in the summer sun. Around the time that I wrote this poem, or more precisely, I revised it, I realized something that I was doing in my attempts to write haiku. The last line of a haiku is supposed to be a term where it's a contrast or something that puts the first two lines of the poem into a different light. And I found out that I was using that third line kind of like a title. So, what I wrote in that third line that put the poem in a different light, I realized I could move that to the first line as a title, and then it would just be a normal poem and not a haiku. There wouldn't be that surprise at the end, there wouldn't be that shift and that transition and all of that stuff, but it would still have the essential content and meaning of that poem. Now, the original haiku for the previous poem ended with the line making abstract art, which is 5 syllables, so 5, 7, 5, the 17 syllable structure of a haiku. And instead of keeping that as the title, I changed it to Sidewalk Art. And I think that made it a better poem than the haiku had been. It also got rid of the surprise at the end, but I didn't mind that happening. Sharp spider-like thorns protect the thistle blossoms, weed killer in hand. Ember. An ember floats by on hot summer wings, a monarch butterfly on migration, gently settling on the dry grass, a malignant red speck spreading up the mountain slope like an Olympic flame reaching for the gods, a tiny spark that sets the sky ablaze. Sunset, raising expectations. Enigmatic wolf baying at the western moon, mangled sheep carcass. Father-daughter day. Ice cream, shopping, movie, and willful perversions. Self-fulfilling prophecy. You lost me when you read my tea leaves to divine our future. First frost comes early. Tomatoes flush with blossoms. Their children wither. Dear Jane. She gently placed the rose between the pages of the heavy tome, and then crushed the memories out of it. Forbidden. Your love is poison, and I am like a drug addict surrounded by heroin and craving a needle that isn't there. Cloud devouring sun. Brisk newspaper tornado buffeting my skin. Winter's harsh whisper. Nuisance gnats. 1,000 winged arrows strike the dragon's burnished scales. Choreography. Puffy white patchwork of soft gray clouds slowly ease into position. Pristine hidden little valley, smothered by wildflowers, ringed by granite claws stretching into the crisp blue sky. Natural wind-borne fragrance tickling my nostrils. The old oil derrick, the only blemish. Incipient sleet pelting my windshield, chill touch of winter's first breath. Canadian geese, a wedge flying south with winter in its wake. Daybreak. Icicles dangling from branches and eaves, glistening like your nipple rings as they capture the morning sun. Slippery when wet. Her tongue squeezes between two thin crimson lines and wiggles. A flurry of soft snow smothers the early grass and melts on the asphalt. December 12th, 4 a.m. Their shield of ice is not nearly thick enough to save the fish. Effervescent dreams. Skiing at midnight under stars dancing with the snow. Armageddon blinks. On a dark, cloudy night, I see a falling star streak by and disappear. Although I am tempted to say that I connected Dascalu's poem to the Chelyabinsk meteor that hit in 2013, which is a couple of years before I wrote this poem, I can't really be sure of that because asteroid striking the Earth is a common theme in science fiction. And I have read and watched and written quite a bit of science fiction. So it could easily just be a common theme that I decided to write about. And that's it. Indifferent moon, how much love have you seen blossom, wither, and die? I hope you liked this video, and if you did, press the button for it and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your time.